So this video right now I'm making is kind of unexpected to this channel that I'm posting on. Hello, I'm Michael the Mechanical, and this is on a mechanical channel. Basically, I've got a lot of things on my mind. I've been trying to make some videos to put on this channel. I did sort of one and a little bit today. One of them, actually I'm just going to show that little bit of footage here, even though I never finished the entire video, but it's based on a V8 that is a really pain in the ass to try and fix, and I still don't know the resolution to this car. I'm believing that it is to do with the fuel pump not staying on. It could be the fuel pressure regulator not functioning correctly. It could be the filters in the car that are buggered, and not air filter included. That's fine, but I'm talking about everything else. This car, it runs for a little bit and then it just dies, and the only way to keep this car running is to basically floor the accelerator. And I tell everyone, do not floor it. We're going to get this thing to idle, and if we can't get it to idle, you're not going to run it at all, because revving it to 3000 RPM is bad for the motor, and they have run it to 3000 before, and that's very bad. I'll call one off okay, but don't do it again, basically, is the thing I've said. You've learnt your lesson. If you do this more, it's going to break it. And especially since it's been sitting for a while, it has old fuel in it, that's not going to change the issues at hand with that vehicle. So here's the footage. Start it.
Hey, I've got better earplugs than you.
Yeah. Okay. I've got a plan for this also. In this video we're going to be showing you the problem with this car. Oh, fire it out. Not running right. Stay tuned. Stop! Okay, so you've just seen that footage probably just now, and if I had the effort and the energies to edit that, you're only going to see sort of what the intro was going to be for that video. However, I want it to be a bit more clear and concise and shorter than that. I want it to be really cool, like for the fact that I was planning on basically waving my arm, telling him to start the damn car, but he turned the key to the on position, let it do its thing, and then he tried to turn the key. So what I was expecting to do is make my intro quickly, wave my arm, and you hear the engine cranking over and starting up after I said what I said. Now, I don't feel like I've got the absolute confidence to make these kind of videos, but I've got the confidence right now. This is the kind of face I need to put on when I'm making my videos, but that's not the reason I really wanted to make this video now. It's 11 PM my time here, but what I wanted to make the video on is the fact that I am actually trying so damn hard to get into a good position for next year and the year after that and the year after that, basically where I can go and do stuff and earn a little bit on the side so that I can keep doing projects, including fixing my own car. So right now I have a lot of financial issues that I need to deal with, and they are a real pain in the ass to deal with. At the moment I'm okay. I'm bottlenecked at the moment with like $70 left. I'm in that position where it's like, okay, if I have no money left, I'm screwed. And I've got $10 in my wallet just in case I need it for train fare, because I study game design. When December comes, September, October, November, December, yeah, December is the last month of the year. I keep forgetting every order of everything because a lot of things are on my mind. But when December comes, roughly the first or second week of the month, I will stop getting the benefits I get, because I will be no longer under the census date. Since the census date is on the 8th of December, that's when my payments that I'm currently getting get cut off. And that payments help me to get from A to B, wherever that may be. It also helps to pay for being under a roof, even though this is my parents' house. That's one thing. But what I've been working towards is using my game design skills to actually make something and be ready. Hopefully on the 31st of October it will be ready for either a launch, an early release launch, or hopefully an actual full finished, polished game that I can add stuff onto over time. I'm hoping to expect results somewhere between 32 and 300,000, because 32 will be fine, but if I earn 300,000, which is probably very unlikely to happen, if I could, then I could do a lot more and make some more stuff, because I'm not going to stop when I have that kind of financial status in hand. What I plan on doing with that is keep investing it and keep looking after that, and potentially using that to help make videos on the stuff that I really like to do, so that I can get off the computer. Because the computer, if you are on the computer all the time, every single day of the week, it can really affect you. And at the moment, my eyes are just been stressed out with looking at the screen, and I've been trying to get away from it. And that's why I was trying to make videos for the past few days, because my eyes are getting stressed with looking at the computer and trying to problem solve text on the computer and testing the project out, because the project is getting stressful on my eyes at the moment, which I think is a bad sign, and especially as a consumer you wouldn't want that. And so I need to fix that bug with this project as soon as I can, if I can find a resolution to it. The problem is screen tearing. That's what it is with this project. Now, it's nothing to do with mechanics, unfortunately, but the video in the beginning was. But this is why I want to do this mechanical stuff, because it's something that I'd call a hobby and not a job in my position, because I do know enough about that stuff to be able to overcome obstacles and challenges. However, those challenges have a financial wall that sometimes block you from solving an issue, because they need certain tools to do certain things, and if you don't have them, you have to go and get them, or you have to make them. And if you can't buy them, you have to make them, and to make them you need material, and then you need power. There's all these factors that come into play, which is why trying to make a good video is so stressful, because when something comes up and you're ready to do everything, it turns out okay. But I have another problem on my hand, is the fact that I might not be able to make many more videos with this camera, since this camera, the little wire on it that it has for when you plug in the computer is actually broken internally, that when I plug it into the socket for going into the computer, it sometimes cuts out when I'm trying to copy and paste from the camera to the computer to edit things out, and so it gets really annoying occasionally and causes some problems. So I'm just going to unmount the camera, and this is going to look absolutely terrible what I'm about to show you, but it's something nevertheless. And I love looking at some car videos on this channel. There's of course my symbol up in the top here, so yes, this is the channel, and I do like looking at a lot of things, and I love the people who've put these videos together here. I've been watching these three a lot, and I have them in a playlist, including another one which is probably this one here, and the reason being is not only because I like the way they've been constructed, because I like the music, it goes well with the videos. That's the sort of thing I'd like to do, but I don't want to do it because I don't want to get copyright striked. That's not what I was going to show you, but because it was open, it just seemed pretty cool to show you those sort of videos that I like watching over and over again. So basically what I've got here is a to-do list, and if I open up this window here, here's a project that I'm working on. It's currently in alpha 0.8, and I call it 0.8 because 1 might not mean it's completely finished. It's just a version number to help me say it's getting better and better. So what I've got is this screen tearing issue, and I will only ever pick it up on camera, which is what I'm going to have to fix, which will really strain your eyes after a while. And it does take a while to load because it's got a lot of entities and things on the scene, which is actually bad for performance. So if I manage to get into the project, you may see some screen tearing. And I love how this is moving now, but there's a lot of screen tearing. I can just see some screen tearing on the camera, and I do see it. It's about here roughly that you always see some sort of screen tearing over here. But it gets really stressful on your eyes, and I can see it in between here a little bit where the textures is just a real big pain in the butt. And I've got VSync on, and I've got it going at about 60 frames per second, which is a good thing. And it's running all these entities, and all these entities have scripts on them. So if I click this button here and then click this button here, you'll be able to see there's a bunch of numbers here, and that's what my game basically does that I'm working on. So it's in a way inspired from these sort of things, the tools that are in my kit for when I'm working on a car. It's a bit about maintenance, and that's what this is all about. And so it costs you to repair things, which is pretty cool. So I look like I'm just in some ways a mechanic, but I'm also someone that wanted to do game design, well, game development for a very long time, but I've liked cars for a long period of time. But when I was looking into picking a job career path, I chose this because the industry was looking bad at my perspective when I was looking into it quite a few years ago. When I was looking into automotive, I was like, no, this is not a viable option for me. I need to pick something better, because if I go down the automotive pathway, combustion technology is getting phased out, not straight away, but it means in time you'll have to learn how to do auto electrical, which can be a bit of a pain. I have enough points from a test that I did to be able to go and do this so-called course, but I failed the entry because of an illness I had. Although I didn't declare it at the time, I did actually get a bit sick before hand. So I have my folder here with a lot of stuff in it, and it's a really annoying folder, but yeah, I hate my room. It's a little bit small, but I wanted to show. I feel like this is all really a good video because you get to learn a bit more about me, and I get to talk a bit about myself and make myself feel a little bit better for trying to do this, since it's all a bit stressful at the moment, and it's nice to see if some people support the ideas and some people will support the intention. So I have my MTA entry exam right here, and my score was 102 marks out of 128 possible. So there is my marks right there for all the above. I always really was terrible with reading. I did really well with the numeracy. I only got 2 wrong, which was really cool to see that. The matrices, I got 6 plus 10 wrong, so 16 wrong. For the reading, I got 6 plus 2, so that's 8 wrong. So I did really well with those. I could probably do better now than I did back then, and I can't actually enter this unless I got a apprenticeship with a company which would want to take me on. So that's the only issue with doing MTA stuff. So that's my scores. Okay, so in review of your application for the National Privacy Principles to Our Business is a policy, blah blah. Whereas the following your application for an apprenticeship with MTA Group Training Scheme Inc., I must inform you that on this occasion you were unsuccessful. So that actually was a thing that happened to me. So this is why I'm actually going down game design pathway, because while I did fail at getting through the interview, I did really well for marks. And I'll make another point while we're still here. See my marks that I got, 102. If I go down here, I only just passed, so I could do the auto electrical, and they won't let you do the auto electrical unless you get 100 plus marks. Now I've got these papers. I could probably take these in and be like, I want to do this again, but they probably wouldn't take me on unless I had a potential employer, because they help you get an employer. It's never guaranteed the length of time you have an employer for, but it's still a thing nevertheless. So that's basically all I really feel like I've got to talk about, which is a good thing that I'm pretty much done. I really would love to have something else to talk about, but as you know, I'm busy working with this, and most of this is just programming a lot of little things, and then once they're all ready to go, it's about putting them together into a scene and a challenge sort of environment where the player, the person who plays this game, feels challenged by it and does things with it to try and get from point A to point B and beat challenges and sort of that sort of thing. The challenge with this project is mostly the fact that it was a big performance drain, and it still kind of is. So what you see here is nothing compared to what it's actually screaming in the profiler when it's running. So if I go, well actually you've seen the loading. If I click over here in the scene, I think it's layer 2, this one here is a prefab, and if I was to scroll down here, there's a million of these things, and they're all running this objects controller script. And if I double click this script, they're all running like 700 lines of programming lines, but not all the time. So it seems like a lot, but it's not functioning all the time. They're all different scenarios for certain things that are operating. So the update is the most important thing to realize. That's why this actually does what it does, because everything in update is continuously being called. So these lines of code are continuously working, and recently, to fix a major problem I was having with performance, the biggest performance drain of them all, was I made this switch, which is script active, takes an integer, and this integer returns a case of like 9864, and the reason being is because it was taking a lot of performance to always check if a thing was there or not. By telling it it's already there and not worrying about doing a check to see if it's actually there, we're just telling the script to do a certain thing to that thing because it knows it's there, it's not been destroyed. I had to declare it was destroyed and whatnot. Other than that, so we went from 50 frames to 190 by getting rid of those lines of code, the original lines of code. 140 frames lost and maximum placement, where there was 90,000 pieces on the grid. So that's basically this segment of code right here getting run 90,000 times every single frame. So every time there's 1 FPS, this is likely run on every single one of those objects at least once. And this is what it was doing. It was doing if other script 0 is not equal to null, and then it would be doing this because it's checking if that's not equal, if it's not equal to null. So if this thing's null, then it won't do this. But if it's not null, if there's something here, then it will go and do all this. And then there's another one, and it does the same check. By declaring that it already is there and it's already fine, it can be like, yep, okay, we'll do this then. And it'll just run because we've already declared it's not null. And by being not null, it knows, hey, this is all good, run this script. This was a bit of a pain to figure out, but it works, which is a good thing. I had some help with the scripting, but I had to make this a little bit more complex and a bit more simplified and a bit more straightforward for the computer to read, because it's going from a 2D sort of game code to 3D, which is going to allow it in future versions of the game, which wasn't intended, to actually be able to be like, here's one placement, then place another here, then place another here, then down, and that sort of thing, which is interesting and hard, but it's gonna work. It's all there. I'm happy with it at the moment. So anyway, everyone, I've gone over my initial time that I said, hey, it's all gonna be good, and I'm done. But now you've seen a bit of what I do, and that's 834 lines right there. So everyone, thank you for watching. I appreciate the support, and in the future, if I come across problems that I can definitely help solve or whatever, then that will be super freaking awesome. Because, well, it does look like I'm not really good at what I do. The thing is, this is the last thing I really want to say, is I've met a bunch of mechanics, a bunch of people who say they're mechanics. I don't know if they have qualifications or not, but they haven't been able to fix things that we've gone to them with, like problems we've had. They charge an arm and a leg, and they can't fix the problem that we're requesting to be fixed. And this is why I wanted to do this sort of work, and that's why I like doing this sort of stuff with auto mechanics and whatnot. The problem is that one car is the biggest challenge I've ever faced since the first engine I ever rebuilt, which was a Willys tractor motor. If I can fix that car, I might try to get video of how I solve the problem on the camera, or maybe I'll solve the problem, then I'll say on camera how I resolved the issue with the car, or how I found the issue. That way it'll help you guys out a lot. That car is modified, by the way. It's also got quite a few wiring issues, and I know that because the lights in the dash don't stay on. Well, anyway, we've gone way over time. Thank you all for watching. I'm sorry for going over time and driving you guys nuts, but I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like, and if you have any questions, leave a comment down in the comments below. I'll see about it later. You can probably notice that I'm a bit tired from the way my eyes want to drip and whatnot. I can't even say stuff straight. I think it's good enough. See you later, everyone.